This is Grace with Graceful Living. Today we spend a day with Brian Hidehouse. We start with kite surfing at the beach. We kayak to the island where Brian shows us his handstand. Brian now talks to us about what kind of food he eats to nourish his body to give him the energy to lead an active lifestyle.
I used to eat a lot of meat and cheese and yogurt and ice cream and eggs. And I kind of thought that those were the most essential foods to eat because I had done some reading, mostly in like Men's Health magazine and other types of like blog type sources that were really advocating that the high intake of protein for men if you want to build muscle. So I really took that to heart. So I was like, okay, protein is essential and the animal products are the protein. I really didn't eat a lot of vegetables. I knew like every meal I knew like had to have some kind of like meat. Yeah, so I was like kind of at the peak of my like flesh eating phase. I was around 20 years old and I started for the first time kind of have like a little bit of a paunch or like a little bit of a belly. I didn't feel well, so I started to kind of feel sluggish and just like sick. And I knew something must have been wrong. Like I knew something was probably wrong with how I was eating. And so I was like curious, but I was still very convinced by all this rhetoric I had read about protein and meat. So I didn't really think that was the problem, but I knew something was off. So I was like starting to do research. And what I did was I found this guy who blogged about 30-day vegan plant-based diet trial. The way he described it was saying like that basically by cutting out meat, eggs, and dairy, cutting out all animal products from your diet, it's like putting premium fuel in your body. And like I just saw pictures of the food that he was eating and it was just like really brightly colored fruits, vegetables, like all the fruit he wanted to eat, tons of vegetables, like bright colored fresh grains and beans. And I thought, oh, it does look pretty attractive and like pretty fresh. And even though I was still not very convinced, I just thought, oh, like, how can you not eat meat? Eventually, what got me to try it was I thought, like, okay, if I'm only going to have one life that I'm going to live, like, I should try this at least once. You know? Pretty much, that was it. Like, I just never really wanted to go back. Like I instantly felt so much better. So I would get these, like, kind of, like, headaches when I was working out. Those went away. The sluggishness went away. Like, I felt a lot lighter and, like, a lot better. And then also, I never had to worry about feeling like I was getting like a stomach fat again. Ever since then, I've just eaten the whole foods plant-based diet, and I've just felt great. So I focus on trying to eat a lot of carbohydrates, a lot of fresh whole foods, and I try to eat low sodium and low oil as much as I can because I know those things kind of slow me down a little bit. So now I don't track protein at all. I know that if I eat whole foods that are from plants, I'll always get enough protein. I went into veganism like 8 years ago. And like I said, never going back, so.
Thank you, Brian, for sharing your story. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Please go to graceinhawaii.com for more information.